We hope you enjoy The Magicians, The Necromancer Goes to Jail by Rachel Lawson. "I will not do it," Lance Alexander said to his uncle, Sergeant Simon Alexander-Drax. "It's all right. You won't be in there long," said his uncle. "Then you go there," said Lance shortly. Lance's dad, the coroner, walked into the room. "I can't," said Lance, digging his boots into the floor. "You can't?" "What?" asked Blake Alexander, Lance's dad. "I can't go to prison as the Necromancer," said Lance. "Why can't you?" asked his uncle. "Do you think he's the Necromancer?" asked Blake. "Of course not. We need a man we can trust on the inside, who can pose as the Necromancer to entrap a prison kingpin," said Simon. "Are you planning to come out as dead, are you?" asked Lance, not threatening, but just stating a fact. The father of the Necromancer was Mortimer, the king of the Grim Reapers. "I am not going to be around for that," said Blake, planning a holiday in hell when Lance came out as the Necromancer, a serial killer. "Where are you going?" asked Blake's uncle. "Never you mind," said Blake. "He's a coward," said Lance. "No. Would you be in my place? I can't be deposed as Emperor of the Solar System if I'm not here," Blake said. "I didn't think of that," said Simon. "I'll do it," said Lance defiantly, thinking how much of a problem it would be for his father. "Lance, thank you for taking me as your lawyer," said Gabriel Drac, who was now the Emperor-elect since Lance was charged by the police of being the son of the Grim Reaper King, making Blake just a dead pretender to the throne. "You're welcome," said Lance, who knew Gabriel would make him lose his case. It is why he was chosen, because he was inept. "Mr. Alexander, why did you kill your victims?" asked the King's Counsel, in charge of the prosecution, when he was questioning Lance, who decided to have fun with the lawyer. Lance blinked and then retorted, "You tell me," with a wry smile. "Lance is very good. He's acting just like the Necromancer would," said Simon, in the head of the highly disguised pretender to the Empire, Blake, who couldn't be kept away from court to see his son put away. They had a strange relationship. "True," Blake said in Simon's head. Blake knew he was just playing with his food as a cat played with a mouse. "He makes me sick," Blake said in Simon's head. Simon chuckled. "The prosecution is putting words in Lance's, my client's mouth," protested Gabriel, after the KC told Lance why the Necromancer killed people according to him. "Wrong. Try again," said Lance to the KC, ignoring Gabriel. Lance's goth son Junior was embarrassed by his dad's behavior, and he knew his dad was the Necromancer. He turned away from him and saw his granddad. He recognized him behind the disguise, but understood why he was hiding. "Gabriel, this is crazy," said Junior in Gabriel's head. "I can't get your dad to behave. He is playing court jester," said Gabriel in the boy's head. "He's reacting to the lawyer. He's being defensive," said Junior to Gabriel. "Lance, shut up, you aren't being helpful," screamed Gabriel, losing it totally. "I command you to shut up as your Emperor." "If I'm the Necromancer, you are not my Emperor," retorted Lance, laughing. "Lancelot, shut up," shouted Blake, Lance's king. Everyone looked at him. Blake dematerialized, frustrated. He returned to hell. Lance went silent, realizing how mad he'd gone, and he'd been ordered silent by his king. "Lance, you're on your own. Sorry, Junior, I'm off the case," said Gabriel. Lance was sent to prison and was put in the cell with the Kingpin. "Hello, cellmate," Lance said, entering his new cell. "Who's that guy meant to be?" asked the Kingpin. "He's Lancelot Alexander, the Necromancer," said the guard, putting Lance away. "Lancelot. I never thought of you as a Lancelot type," said the Kingpin. "I'm called Lance these days," said Lance. "Lance Alexander, isn't that the name of the Enchanter?" said the Kingpin. "The Enchanter was a superhero who helped the police. Anyone can make a mistake," said Lance. guard looked shocked this killer was a friend of the law, and he put it all down to being a mistake. He didn't know what Lance was up to. "I'll keep an eye on you," said the guard, closing the door and locking and leaving. Lance smiled and said, "Lovely. Are you legit?" asked the Kingpin. "Yes," said Lance. The Kingpin thought he was mad. Lance stuck a picture on the wall of his family, and the Kingpin looked at it. "What's that?" asked the Kingpin, pointing at Junior. "Normal," said Lance. "That's not normal," the Kingpin said. "Mr. Normal, my son Junior," said Lance. "Oh, him, the magic guy whose disguise is nothing. He is younger than I thought he was," said the Kingpin. "Is he a killer too? He looks like one." "No, just me," said Lance, yawning. "Where's my bunk? I need to sleep." The Kingpin pointed at a bunk. Lance said goodnight, hopped in the bunk, which was too small, and fell asleep. The Kingpin wasn't sure what to make of him. "Lance, wake up," said the Kingpin. "What do you want? I'm sleeping," asked Lance. "They want you to wake up, the guards," said the Kingpin. "All right," said Lance, rising. "What do you want?" asked Lance, looking them in the eye with a playful cat look at a mouse stare. It scared the Kingpin. "It's breakfast time. Do Grim Reapers eat?" asked the guard. "I do not eat," Lance said, doing a Dracula impression. "Breakfast," and laughed. "Yes, we eat." "You are not human?" asked the Kingpin. "Nope," Lance, not lying. "I heard you could break out of jail if you wanted to," said the guard. "Yes, it's easy, but where's the fun in that?" said Lance, smiling impishly. "What fun can you have in jail?" asked the Kingpin. "Not been here long enough for it to be a bore yet," Lance said. He was having fun messing with their minds. "As long as no one dies," said the guard. "Oh, no fair, you take the fun out of life," said Lance. Lying, he hated to kill, he was just playing with them to see how they would react. "You bloodthirsty bastard," said the guard. "I'm not noted for my pleasant disposition," said Lance. He wasn't. He was noted for his violence to his victims as the Necromancer, and Lance was playing off his reputation to the hilt for this role. "I thought the enchanter was noted for that," said the guard. Lance looked nervous for a second, thinking they had him. Then his defiant nature set in. "How charming is Jack the Ripper," said Lance, trying to throw them off his scent. "Hardly he's dead you're not," said the Kingpin. "True," said Lance. "I killed him." "You aren't that old, boy," said the guard, who looked no older than Lance. "Boy?" said Lance, not sure where he was coming from till he noticed the guard looked familiar somehow. "Who are you?" Lance said in the guard's head. "I am nobody." "Who are you? Are you nobody too?" grumbled back the guard in Lance's head. "Nobody is nobody. Everyone is somebody," Lance replied in the guard's head. "Who are you?" "I'd rather not say," the guard replied awkwardly in Lance's head. "Dad?" Lance retorted in the guard's head. "Yes," the guard replied in Lance's head. "I thought you were in hiding," Lance said in Blake's head. "I thought you'd need some help, you young braggart," said Blake in Lance's head. "Thank you," Lance said in Blake's head. "Do you two need a room? You've been staring at each other for 5 minutes?" the Kingpin said awkwardly. "No, I was thinking I saw him somewhere before, not sure where," Blake said nervously. "Definitely not." "He's not my type," said Lance. "His type's his wife," Blake said. "Mine too." "Not his wife?" "My wife." Blake looked very awkward. Lance now felt his mind being messed with. He didn't like it, he wanted to leave, but he couldn't leave his dad in there alone, and he had a job to do. "Where is breakfast?" asked Lance. Blake gave him and the Kingpin a sandwich each and wandered off. Later. "What are you doing playing solitaire?" asked the Kingpin, seeing Lance playing with a deck of poker cards. "No practicing?" said Lance. "What for 100 years in jail?" asked the Kingpin. "No legerdemain," Lance said. "Legend, man." "What?" said the Kingpin, confused. Lance laughed. "No sleight of hand. I am a stage magician by trade," said Lance. "Not a trade for in here," said the Kingpin. "No?" asked Lance, fishing. "I can give you a job in here," said the Kingpin. "I have little experience behind bars," said Lance. "Good, I'm not after a bartender," said the Kingpin, chuckling. "What do you want me to do?" asked Lance. "Kill a guy in cell block 12, said the Kingpin. "Why?" asked Lance. "He's getting too big for his boots," said the Kingpin. "How am I to kill him?" asked Lance. "You decide," said the Kingpin. "What's his name?" asked Lance. "Ryan Kelly," said the Kingpin. Later, Lance materialized in Mr. Kelly's cell as he slept. In his hand was a sword. He walked over to Kelly and said, "Boo!" in his head, scaring him awake. "What are you doing here?" asked Kelly. "I was sent here to kill you," said Lance. "Will you?" asked Kelly. "If I do, they'll have a reason to keep me here. But I'm tired of this place." "It's too cramped up," Lance said. "Who are you?" asked Kelly. "Lance," said a voice behind him. "Dad," said Lance. "Yes," said the voice. "What the?" cried Kelly in sheer terror. Lance turned around and saw the Reaper Mortimer, his father's soul. "Why are you here?" asked Lance. "I came because he was going to die," Blake said. "I don't want to kill him," said Lance. "I don't want him dead either," said Blake. "I don't have to kill him," said Lance desperately. "He dies, I'm afraid," Blake said. "If he dies, I'll stay here," said Lance, horror-struck. "You leave, I'll deal with him," said Blake. You don't kill," said Lance. "No, he is dying now," said Blake. "How?" Lance asked, shocked. "He is having a fear-induced heart attack," Blake said. "We scared him to death," said Lance. "Yes, go back to your cell," said Blake. "I'll deal with him." Lance went and materialized in his cell. His cellmate was still sleeping. He was not missed. Days later, Lance spoke to his uncle. "He tried to enlist me to kill some guy," said Lance. "That is what we hoped he would do. Did you?" asked Simon. "No, I'm not a killer," Lance lied. Lance the Enchanter was given a full pardon for his work in trapping the Kingpin, who was charged with trying to enlist the Enchanter to kill, and Lance was released from jail, as he was not the Necromancer. He was only posing as him. His father got his empire back too, and his son was not the Necromancer. Therefore, he was not Mortimer. But we know otherwise.